Hello everyone, this is Darkbblue. After 2 videos on battle, I suppose we can better understand it now. So next, let's turn to campaign. In this video, I'll help you to build a framework that can help you understand campaign and make decisions. But there will be no detailed walkthrough as they are to be discovered by yourself. This is why strategy games are fun after all. Back in our first Tyrion campaign, we have already known there are many systems and mechanics in campaign. But how could we clean up the mess and combine them together? Maybe the answer is some core principles that are simple to understand and easy to conduct. So now let's try to seek the core principles on campaign strategy. So where to start? Campaign principles must contribute to the final victory of the campaign. Maybe we can start from the campaign target. You can just find it on the bottom right corner. Let's have a look. In the Vortex campaign, we have to win the final battle. There is also another way to win, this is to destroy some given factions, so they are the campaign targets. And to fulfill them, what we need is military power. To win the final battle, we need one powerful army, and we also need some defense armies to fight the ritual chaos. And to destroy the given factions, we need some crusade armies. All in all, military power, so this is our ultimate target. And the military power is again divided into basic units and lords or heroes. What makes lords and heroes different from basic units, like your spearmen and archers, is that they can level up, have a skill tree, and can change equipments just like in RPG games. For both basic units and lords or heroes, we need to be able to recruit them and pay the arcade fees. To be able to recruit means having higher tier military building, and this again requires higher tier men settlement. So we can put recruiting down to settlement growth. Growth is a special phrase in this game. It describes how fast the population of a province grows, and population is spent to upgrade men settlement building to a higher rank. And at the same time, to pay the upkeep fees, we need enough fund, which we can get from two sources, tax and battle. Tax is again related to cities. You need to grow your cities and construct more buildings to get more tax income. But battle is much simpler and faster. Just go to fight someone and you will get reward after the battle. And you can even get more money from looting the city. As for the RPG-like element of lords and heroes, this is easy to understand. Although there are many different ways to gain more experience, the easiest method is battle. You can get experience, equipment, and everything else you want after battles. So our effort to seek the core principles can stop here. We now have one ultimate target, that is to strengthen our military power, and we have 3 direct targets: growth, tax, and more battles. This 1 and 3 targets are the core principles. If you do not know whether a decision is good or not, just think if it can contribute to them. Now, theoretically, you can be a good strategy maker as long as you keep the principles in mind, but you may still lack the experience required to actually conduct them. So time for more cases. In the rest of this video, I'll talk about expanding. You can understand this topic like this. After, let's say, 100 turns, what cities should my faction have occupied? So the first thing you need to know is there is one choice, that is not to expand. After a city battle, you can occupy this place and grow it, build more buildings, and this is called expansion. But you can also just loot and go, or occupy it just to replenish and leave this place to let it be taken back. You can actually call it farming. Not that peaceful farming in your own land, but farming your enemies. We should not avoid war in a game called Total War, right? As it's a choice not to expand, we now want to know if we should expand. Remember, keep the principles in mind. Now let's check how this decision will influence them. Growth first. Growth of different provinces is typically independent, so expanding or not will make no difference to growth. And as for tax, More cities indeed means more tax income, but you will also spend more on defending them. However, your net income may usually increase a little anyway. And the frequency of battle won't be too different whether you expand or not. Even if we choose to farm instead of expanding, we usually go on a crusade rather than looting the same faction near our home. This is because a newly looted city needs some time to recover before the looting reward is restored. Now we've covered 3 direct targets, not too complicated, but our ultimate target, military power, seems not that easy to analyze. Indeed, expanding enables us to keep more armies, but only one can participate in the final battle. So we cannot come to some conclusions yet. But get easy, this is normal. It's called ultimate target for a reason. Now we can say expanding is not that profitable as we may think earlier. Actually, defending more cities might even become more troublesome. But there are other reasons by which the game encourages or forces us to expand. You can stack more global buff if you have more cities, and you can increase ritual resource outcome by conquering more cities. So we still need to expand, but properly. Now we come back to the first question. In what directions should we expand and how to maximize the profit? You can find your direction through climate. Climate can be found at the right side of city name. It's this circle. You should expand in the direction where there are many green cities rather than yellow or red ones. This rule is simple. And another thing to care about is how to maximize our profit. For growth, we should occupy cities as soon as possible so that they'll have enough time to grow naturally. There's also another choice. Since the tier will decrease only 1 when we occupy a city, we can give other factions enough time to grow and take their cities to get tier 4 settlement. And for text, we should build more industry buildings and concentrate our resources to cities with special resource or landmarks. And military building without important global effect are not required to build everywhere. We can thus save more space for other buildings. Besides increasing income, we can also decrease outcome, which simply means army upkeep fees. It's not really affordable if we leave defending army in every city or province. So we can make friends with some factions, turning them into our defender allies. Also, another choice is to create a buffer zone by occupying some cities between our main settlement and enemies, but not constructing them. Therefore, we can keep most armies in a crusade rather than peaceful areas. And we know crusade brings profit. Now we know how to maximize our profit in expanding. It's time for a review. The most important thing you need to remember is the core principles to make campaign strategies. One ultimate goal is to increase military power and 3 direct targets including growth, tax, and battles. Just think about how to fulfill them. This can help you make decisions. Also, we use the rest of this video to look into a case, how to choose the direction for faction expanding and how to maximize profit. The conclusions are only my personal thinking, don't take them too seriously if you disagree with me, but the procedure may help you better understand our core principles. But only one example is not enough. In the next video, I will use the principles to analyze some detailed systems such as settlement building and diplomacy. You can also expect more in the advanced campaign video. Thanks for watching, see you around.